All right, we are back with another report card session. You could call it a parent-teacher interview. You could call it, exam time, whatever you want. The Slice, we're giving out grades for the 2020 season for some of the top players. In this episode, Thiem with, slightly sub-notes for, Zverev, Tsitsipas, and Medvedev. But this is mainly going to be Dominic Thiem, our guy, huge fan of Thiem on the show here. And he had a great 2020 season for him, obviously. Could have been not great. So we're going to get into ups and downs in this episode of The Slice.
So I don't have many bagels.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
All right, thanks for being here again, folks. As always, we love your support. Hit the like and subscribe button. You can hit that notification bell. I never say that, but do it. Hit all the things and check out our sponsors. It means the world if you shop at One Sport, Courtside Sports, and check out Bear Mountain using our codes. That helps us keep bringing you guys the tennis news that you hopefully like. Also, we're on less than 100 away from 10,000 subscribers, so that's awesome. At the end of this video, you will see the mark for Dominic Thiem that I give. And you can check out the other report card videos that we've been doing for Djokovic and Nadal. So let's get into Dominic Thiem's season. In the article I wrote, which you can also find on the site tennis.com, which is kind of like what I'm going off in these videos, I talked about how Dominic Thiem had a kind of a weird 2019 season. He showed up as a great, world-class, top-level hardcourt player when he won Indian Wells, beating Roger Federer. But he lost in the French Open final after beating Djokovic in the semifinal, made it to another slam final. He had a lackluster rest of the year. So 2020 it was kind of like, when is Dominic Thiem's time? So right away he made it to the Australian Open final after beating Nadal in the quarterfinals, Zverev in the semifinals, comes up against Djokovic in the final, trying to do like what barely anyone has done, which is beat two of the big three in a row to win a slam final. He found himself 2-1 up in the final with Djokovic not playing his best, and then he couldn't hold on. He let it slip. It was not Thiem's time to beat. Djokovic came back like he does, roaring, and just took it from Thiem's grasp, and Thiem was disappointed again. His third loss of a Grand Slam. And after this, I wrote an article, which you can, or actually, I wrote an article and made a video, which you can check out, which is asking, literally, is Thiem missing his time? And I think that this obviously had a big impact on him as well. He wanted to win a slam by now. I think that in his vision of where he's at, he should be doing that. And I think that coming into 2020, that was his number one goal. Yeah, the goals for Dominic Thiem at the beginning of the year was, to me, the main one would have been to win a slam. Get his slam, either obviously the French first, but now that he's such a good hardcourt player, really any of the slams. That was his main goal. He ended up going 25-9 on the season, winning one title. We all know that happened. It was that U.S. Open. So after the Australian Open loss, I think he was like, what the heck, man? He went and lost kind of a bad tournament in Rio. And then the shutdown happened. Then he came back and he lost in the first round of Cincinnati. And we're kind of just like, Thiem was on the back burner. In my mind, I'm still like, this kid has like the potential, especially after the ATP finals in 2019. He has one of the highest levels for sure on the tour, and he can do damage to anyone. Is the U.S. Open a little bit slower, maybe going to be his thing? Also no Nadal there. So he came into the tournament being the second favorite to win, way behind Djokovic probably. But then when Djokovic unbelievably went out after choke slamming the umpire with the ball, all the pressure moved from Djokovic to Thiem. And Thiem had never won a slam, and now Thiem was like, this is like the best opportunity you're probably ever going to have. You won't have to play one of the big three to win this slam. It was kind of like when Federer was trying to win his elusive French Open title in 2009, and Nadal lost to Robin Soderling, I think, in the fourth round of the quarterfinals. And then all of a sudden, Federer's like, I don't have to beat Nadal, who he lost to like 4 times already, to win this French Open. The pressure was crazy. I think Federer had like a match point down against Tommy Haas. Anyways, came back like a legend, won it. Cried. We all know what happened. Was this pressure going to be too much for Dominic Thiem? I saw him though just keep his level extremely high. He beat Demonauer and then Medvedev in like routine fashion, which I was like, wow. Coming into the final, I had him down as I was picking him to win big time. And I was traveling on the day of the final, and then I turn it on and I start listening to the match, and he's down 2-0. I'm like, what is going on? Why is he not playing his best? Maybe Zverev was playing better. I never saw the beginning of that match, but I was able to watch him just absolutely like a legend, like all Grand Slam winners do, just just refused to lose. And he just marched back in that match. And at the end of the match, he was getting leg cramps, and he was down, and then he was up, and he was down. He was just ripping massive forehands. Both guys were so tight, but he was able to come through, which I'm stoked for him that he did. It'll be Zverev's time, Sasha's time at some point, but it was just great to see Thiem come through. So he was able to do what he wanted most, which is finally win a Grand Slam. And he's still just turned 27 this year. Like, he's still got tons of time. And he's officially arrived as a Grand Slam champion. So to me, that was like a big check on 2020. He won the second major that was played at that time. And then he had the French Open coming up in 2 weeks. Now, I think he kind of didn't have enough energy after that. He skipped Rome to try and get it back. And then he had a brutal draw at the French Open. So he ended up bowing out to Diego Schwartzman after like this Hugo Gaston, the French guy, took the little short Frenchman, took like him to 5 sets and just like literally wore him down and took away any chance he had to try and win the French. So that was obviously disappointing for him at the French, but I think he was still riding the high of being a major champion. Came to Austria, which we had the media credential at, got to talk to him there. He went out early with some blisters, and then he showed up at the ATP finals with the highest level we'd seen on hard court all year. I don't know. He played Nadal first and beat him 7-6, 7-6. So that was his 4th and 5th tiebreakers in a row against Nadal. He had the mental edge right now on him on hard court in the tiebreak situations. And then he went up against Djokovic, and this was to get into, I think it was to get into the semifinals, finals, and Djokovic had to win it to go through. And Djokovic, it was super tight match, back and forth, super high level. I thought like Thiem was the aggressor more in this match. He has more firepower at this point in his career. And then Djokovic went up 4-0, and again, Thiem, just like the year before, came back like crazy, somehow flipped the script in the tiebreaker in the final and beat Djokovic. It's just crazy. It's like we're all literally before the match, Djokovic is like, I hope for another great match like last year, but I hope for a different ending with the tiebreaker. And then it was like 4-0, and I was literally thinking, there's no way. Like, it was 4-1 the year before. 4-0, can he do it? And then he just did it. Like, he just played amazing. Djokovic after the match was like, what could I even do? He just started hitting winners, playing amazing. Thiem just showed that killer instinct he has. He showed the level that he has, I think, is the highest on tour when he's really hot. And that was a huge win for him. And then he ended up losing for the second time in a row in the final of the ATP finals, this time to Medvedev. So we're looking back at his year, you're like, huge success. I'm giving him a straight up A. Just an A, because to me, his biggest and only goal probably would have been to win a slam, and he did it. So he had a few disappointing moments in there, but I think if you're going to take it for what it is, it would be an A, maybe an A-, but I'm sticking with an A because I think 2021 is going to be a big year for him as well. So that's Thiem. That's the big three now. Federer obviously didn't really play in 2020, so he'll be back in 2021 looking great, I'm assuming. Never doubt the GOAT. You can never do it. But here's 3 more marks for 3 more next-gen guys. We had Medvedev go 28-10, kind of a brutal year until the last 2 tournaments where he beat Nadal and won the Paris Masters, and then he beat Nadal, Djokovic, and Thiem in the ATP finals. It was absolutely crazy. So he ended the year on a crazy win streak, won 2 titles, salvaged his year. Didn't actually write down a mark for him, but I would give him like a B-. I think I gave him on the year there, or maybe even a C+. Probably a B-. I'll give him a B-, I think. And then we got Stefanos Tsitsipas, who kind of had like a so-so year. He only won 1 title. The only really good result for him was the semifinal at the French Open, where he almost came back from 2 sets to love down to beat Djokovic. I was like seeing the level that he would need to win a Grand Slam being played for a couple sets there, and the winner's mentality to come back. It wavered a bit. Like, he came on the tour being like, I'm like the super mentally stable 18-year-old, which I've touted for a while. And it wavered a little bit, especially at the ATP Cup with his like racket smacking tantrum where he hit his dad. His mom like almost like ripped him off the court. So not a great start to the year for Stefanos. Not really a great year in total. So I give him a C+. And for Zverev, I gave him a D. No pun intended at all. You know, he had a lot of crazy things go down this year. Unfortunately, you know, for anyone involved, I don't know who's right and wrong in these scenarios. You know, he has the domestic abuse allegations against him, which he awkwardly denied, and then he was like came out that he's going to be a father with his ex-girlfriend, which is probably not what he planned or she planned. So kind of not great scenarios there. He got 2 titles, but they were just 2 ATP titles back-to-back in Cologne, and he lost in the Grand Slams to, I guess, off the top of my head, Thiem in the semifinals of the Australian Open, Sinner in the French Open, and then obviously Thiem in the final of the U.S. Open. So as far as slams and all the big tournaments go, not a great year for him. I'm giving him a D. So yeah, that is my wrap-up of the 2020 seasons for the best players on the ATP Tour. What would your marks be if you were going to give them a report for their 2020 season? Let me know. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. That supports this show. Thank you for subscribing, checking out our other videos here. Links around. Spend some time. Get around it. Check out our website where all these videos are in article form. Appreciate you guys. We will see you again very shortly.